while getting ready to enjoy their stay at a scenic camping spot in Micaiah River State Park in Florida. Alicia and her husband were looking forward to a relaxing holiday, except almost upon arrival, the pair were scared stiff after swearing something else was staying in their cabin. Check out the footage they caught that had them considering packing up again.
This place is so cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
What the somebody in there with you?
No.
The fuck?
What the hell was that behind her? The figure looked somewhat humanoid, but with weirdly short, stumpy arms and a hunched posture. Were they cabin sharing with some kind of SCP? Micaiah River State Park is quite well known for its ghost stories and legends though. Many have experienced strange things while staying or walking through there, but the park is also known to be home of Florida's answer to Bigfoot, the skunk ape. Depicted as looking somewhat like a standard Sasquatch, supposed sighting videos showed a hunched over entity that stomps around scaring those who get too close. Could that be the cryptid wandering around the back of the happy couple's cabin? Did someone break in? Or is it the old park just showcasing its lost souls? Jeff Kessler was just looking for an escape, a simple camping trip in the woods. After waking up, he had bacon for breakfast, packed his camping gear, and grabbed his trusty camera to document the adventure. He left home in the afternoon, munching on sandwiches along the way, ready for some peace in the wilderness. By nightfall, he was still wandering, trying to find the perfect spot to lay down, and that's when he spotted something, a sight so strange it made him freeze in his tracks. Something lurking that he'd never seen before, something that wasn't supposed to be there. Take a look at what Jeff managed to capture. Did you catch that? That pale figure sprinting towards Jeff from the shadows. That was the last thing anyone saw before Jeff vanished into thin air. All that was left behind were his camera and his camping gear, discarded in the heart of the woods. Was it something otherworldly that took Jeff that night? Whatever happened, one thing's for sure, the woods aren't always as empty as they seem, and sometimes what's out there is better left undisturbed.
This one will make you triple and quadruple check your locks. While just relaxing at home with her dog, this woman heard a knock at the front door, but she had no idea what was waiting for her outside. Who or what was that? In all fairness, the quality of this video is atrocious, so we wouldn't be able to see any cuts or edits in there at all. And why did she just happen to be recording at the same time with barely any proper reaction? The dog seemed a bit spooked though, but some dogs do respond like that to any knock at the door. Although the real kicker is that figure outside the window at the end. This woman thought that living next to a church would offer her all the light and protection she needed from the other side, but there's nothing stronger than pure, unadulterated darkness. Check out the weird glitch that takes a hold of her phone when she stands near the church.
Y'all, I am in my yard. Watch my face. This is not an app doing this. This is my yard. The church is behind me. Watch my face. Church, you can see straight through me. I kid you not. Look at this. Whoa.
There was definitely more than one face shown in that video, and we don't like the look of them. Could it be the spirits from the church graveyard desperately crying out for someone to see them? Or has something nasty broken through and decided to show this woman exactly what it's capable of? Yeah, she could be lying, and it could be an app or some kind of editing feature, but surely that fruit would be so low-hanging that nobody would even take it, right?
On the 9th of October 2025, a man named Rodell was sent a petrifying video by his girlfriend. Her aunt, Benita, had been struggling with grief after the tragic passing of her grandmother a few weeks before, so the family had been staying at her house to offer support. But on this fateful day, Benita had a rare afternoon to herself in the house. With her husband out shopping and the family busy elsewhere, she spent her day watching the TV in her kitchen. But something terrifying happened that put a stop to her relaxing afternoon, and she managed to catch it all on her home surveillance cameras. The stove going crazy is scary enough, but did you notice just before it was ripped off the floor, in the windows right behind it, a shadow figure darts past, as if it was running out of the room? Apparently, Benita said that if she hadn't seen the figure running away, she would have put the experience down to owning a really faulty stove. Now obviously, stoves don't just do that on their own. Someone or something picked it up, shook it around and threw it back down. But how? They are heavy appliances, so it's not something that can be easily faked using traditional techniques. Some of the family believed it could be the spirit of Benita's grandmother, as she took her last breath in that house while under her care. But if that were the case, why was she moved so angrily? Could it be something more sinister? Leave any of your interpretations down in the comments. In March 2024, the British Paranormal Society uploaded footage from a driver on a lonely country road near Corby, UK. The road itself is unremarkable, but local legends tell a different story. They say it runs alongside the path of a silent monk, excommunicated for forbidden rites and secretly buried in these very hedgerows hundreds of years ago. Locals have claimed to have seen him for generations, but few have ever captured proof. Until now. Take a look. There, for just a moment, a figure in a dark hooded robe is standing by the side of the road, perfectly matching the description of the silent monk. Now, skeptics immediately jumped on this. One commenter pointed out that the figure casts a shadow from the car's headlights, suggesting it's a solid, living person, not a spirit. And maybe they're right. But there's a far more chilling thought. It means that on that lonely road, in the dead of night, someone is standing in the darkness, watching, waiting for you to take the bait. a pair of paranormal investigators get on what might be the deadliest attempt at ghost chasing when they find themselves in the middle of poltergeist rush hour. Every single move, breath, and touch they make seems to anger the spirits so much that they threaten to harm them. Grab some popcorn. This is about to get real and fast. It all starts when they decide to explore an abandoned facility which is said to have been haunted by several angered spirits, who have even one of the past employees in one of its many unfurnished rooms. The pair arrives at the location late at night, and the chills are already creeping in like a nightmare on steroids. They set up cameras and other devices used to detect spirits, but when one of the pair starts reciting his holy verse, all hell breaks loose.
शाहिद हर तरफ ऐसे हो गया जैसे तूफान आ गया हो। यार शाहिद
While the pair moves around the building, the camera pans to a room down the hall where from above, a shadowy figure is shown watching the man who screams upon seeing her. The figure with long human black hair stalks into the space above with her hair being pulled above. What makes this even much scarier is that the man quickly recovers after the fright and runs to investigate the room the figure was in, but no one is there.
उस साइड से आवाज आ रही बाहर से ये क्या है? बाहर से आवाज आ रही है।
क्या हुआ खुरम?
शाहिद ये पेड़ से आके गिरा यार।
While one of the blokes walks past an empty room into another, an oddly strange shaped figure materializes out of thin air. Its color dark, dusty and grey as it jumps like a kangaroo into the other room and disappears out of sight before it even touches the ground. Of course, only the static camera catches this. The pair misses it, but that probably is for the best.
ओह खुरम, ये फिर मुझे ऐसे लगा इधर कोई था। ओह अकबर।
शायद इधर से कुछ या तो वो चमगादड़ गई है दोबारा।
मैंने वही ना बोला, ये देखो। अल्लाह अकबर, अल्लाह अकबर। तुम क्या ख्याल है?
उस साइड से आवाज़ आ रही, आवाज़ आ रही, आवाज़ बाहर से, बाहर से। ये क्या है? बाहर से आवाज़ आ रही शायद।
क्या हुआ खुरम?
शाहिद ये पेड़ से आके गिरा यहाँ।
Towards the end of the video, the man making the prayers exclaims that the prayers have been heard, but now the spirits are getting physical. Here he claims he has been pushed very hard by an unseen force. Next we know, he talks about how his feet have been stepped on. But it gets worse. Soon, the man is getting attacked at multiple places and he is in pain. This is when his partner realizes they need to get out, and get out now. There's just no way this isn't true, and there's also just no way this profession is healthy for the mental state.
क्या हुआ? क्या हुआ?
यार खुरम एकदम से आग लग गई है।
अल्लाह अकबर। उठाओ 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 यार।
अल्लाह अकबर। क्या हुआ खुरम?
बड़ी जोर से लगा यहाँ पे यार। ये दूसरी दफ़ा हुआ है, पर पहले मुझे पत्थर लगा था और अब ये लगा है।
अल्लाह अकबर, अल्लाह अकबर।
शाहिद
Either way, these dudes must have them heavy in their pants to be going into a space like this with ghosts on Sugar Rush.
ये मोशन सेंसर उठाओ यार। इधर से मैंने कोई चीज़ आती देखी। मोशन सेंसर
उठा लिया यार।
उठा
मेरे
लिया।
पास से आ जाओ।
ये देखो।
This next video was sent to us by one of you guys. It came with little to no context as well, making it all the more unsettling. The footage appears to be taken from a couple's bedroom. The wife seems to have woken up from strange noises coming from the living room. Not wanting to wake her husband, for God knows why, she instead arms herself with a phone to go and see what it could have been. And what she captured was a paranormal cocktail that will leave you gasping. As she rises from the bed, she turns towards the living room and spots something ghostly right by the door before it pounces and knocks her to the ground. While the clip might come off as being too good to be true given how fully formed the apparition was, let's not be too quick to put this down as a fake video. Because what if she had encountered something sinister that night? We can't say for sure why she was attacked by a malevolent spirit. There's always a possibility that something genuinely sinister was caught on camera that day. But what do you think? Real ghost sighting? Or another great piece of spooky entertainment? Let us know in the comments.
If you've spent any time freaking yourself out online, you've probably heard of the Cecil Hotel. and with good reason. It's one of the most haunted spots in the world. Opened in 1927 in downtown LA, it was supposed to be luxurious, but after the Great Depression, things took a nosedive. Instead of high-class guests, it became home to folks from Skid Row and anyone else down on their luck. Those 700 rooms, they've seen some serious tragedy. Even Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, called it home for a little bit. But the real case that put this place on the map? Elisa Lam. Elisa, a Canadian student, stayed there in 2013, and things got super weird. CCTV footage shows her in the elevator pressing every button, stepping in and out like she's hiding from someone or something. 19 days later, they found her body in the rooftop water tank. Guests had been drinking that same water. Pretty gross, right? Her death? Ruled an accident due to bipolar disorder and missed meds. But for a lot of people, it's really hard to shake the Cecil's dark history. And when a TikTok surfaced in 2021 showing someone's uncle working there, those old fears fired up again.
My uncle is currently working at the Cecil Hotel, and this is what he sent me.
Some commenters chalk this up to automatic doors doing their thing. But come on, with the hotel's dark backstory full of tragedy and despair, can we really just shrug it off? Is it really that far-fetched to believe that something else might be lurking in the halls, just waiting to make itself known?
As it would turn out, when we humans are done shopping in malls and supermarkets, some other entities come out to shop or give the place a total makeover, just like this. It's a common theme for storekeepers to find items on the floor when they resume work in the morning, but is this what supermarket ghosts get up to when no one's looking? Or is this old-ass video part of a much longer publicity stunt? No idea, but one thing's for sure, the supermarket knows how to keep its customers on their haunted toes.
While exploring an old boarding house, this guy had been tipped off that something suspicious was happening inside. Many people told him to check out the third floor balcony, so he went up to see what he could find, and ended up jumping straight out of his skin.
Sebenarnya itu beta sim takut guys. Selagi dia tidak berwujud, beta pun sim takut. Merinding. Beta pernah live sini tapi sini beta paling takut cuk. Ini di balkon 3 di lantai 3. Oke guys, sekian. Anjing.
Whatever it was that he felt inside that building appeared to latch onto him.
Anjing.
Because then, whenever he tried to sleep, he would become plagued by strange happenings.
Cuma begitu sah. Keluar wujud kah? Kalau cuma begini juga, beta juga bisa. Si ada di sebelah mana? Supaya beta jalan ke OC. Cuman bagian-bagian seorang aja takut. Tenang. Sibur jatuh guys. Mau mandi ke apa? Weh anjing.
Egging it on seemed to be making it 10 times more powerful. While you can make things sway and fall over in many different ways, the room he is in is so large and barren, there would be nowhere for anyone to set anything like that up. It was after he had the realization himself that there was nobody here to play a prank on him that the activity got even stronger.
Rice cooker cuy. Maksudnya
That's one way to ask for a biscuit. This poltergeist has clearly got the munchies and isn't waiting around to be served. But seriously, what in the fresh hell is making that lid flip open on its own? Before you start shouting, fishing line, have a proper look at the room. It's massive and wide open. There's absolutely nowhere for a prankster to hide without being completely obvious. You need to be a ninja with a fishing rod to pull that one off. So, what's the real story here? Is our guy sharing his flat with a particularly peckish ghost? Or has he just got a mate with some string and far too much time on his hands? You be the judge of this one. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Back in May 2008, a Russian YouTuber named Ilya, who appeared to be living as an expat in Asia, uploaded a video that became an early internet legend. It starts simply, he's home alone when he hears a noise and starts filming, but the intense poltergeist activity he captured would lead to him abandoning his home and eventually his channel. While Ilya never gave a backstory, viewers have since pieced together a local legend about a lonely child who passed away in that building decades ago. A spirit that, according to the story, just wants to play. Look at the footage through the lens. The frantic knocking isn't a threat. It's a demand for attention. The toy moving isn't a haunting, it's an invitation. But when that invitation is ignored, the playful energy turns into a violent tantrum. And the chair goes flying. And that ghostly tantrum was clearly the final straw. After uploading this clip, Isla went completely silent for a full year. He eventually returned with a few more travel videos from Asia, but never posted another paranormal video again before leaving YouTube for good. A paranormal investigator named Raga Paranormal accepted the challenge to go looking for ghosts in a notoriously haunted hospital, but he had no idea one of them would end up looking for him instead. The place is your classic nightmare fuel, a sprawling, abandoned hospital that locals swear it's basically a waiting room for the afterlife. Raga walks the creepy, decaying halls, does his thing, and finds pretty much nothing. He packs up, probably thinking the challenge was a total bust, but he had no idea that while he didn't find any ghosts, one of them had apparently found him, because the real show started the second he got home.
¿Qué quieren que vea? Hola.
And just like that, his house turns into a paranormal playground. This is a classic example of what paranormal researchers call an attachment, where an entity, instead of being tied to a place, latches onto a person's energy. It's the one souvenir no ghost hunter ever wants to bring home. But this unwanted house guest wasn't content with just messing up on his living room. It apparently decided to follow him on his morning commute.
La puerta está moviendo. Acaban de golpear la silla a mi derecha. Ahí. ¿Qué les dije?
Uy, hijo de...
The entity's game of cat and mouse continues. He catches a door moving and starts filming, just in time to see it slam shut. But it's not the door that sends him running, it's the deep, guttering growl that follows him from the other side of the room.
¿Qué les dije?
Uy, hijo de...
Paranormal investigators often make a distinction between a human spirit and something else. Whispers and voices are often attributed to human ghosts, but a growl like that's typically considered a red flag for something inhuman, an entity that was never human to begin with, and one that is openly hostile. Yet, he goes back in, attempting to communicate.
Si hay algún alma que necesita luz, que esté aquí. Eso no me lo esperaba para nada.
As a jug of cutlery crashes to the floor, he turns back to the main room, where a box has impossibly moved from one cabinet to another, landing in a position that looks incredibly difficult to fake. So let's piece this all together. An entity attaches to him, follows him home, and then to work. It's no longer just moving things, it's slamming doors and emitting hostile growls. Was this just the lonely spirit of a former patient? Or, as many investigators would fear, did he provoke something inhuman in that hospital? Something that is now treating his life as its new hunting ground? Let us know your theories down below. It was early Sunday morning, around 12:30 AM, when this couple was driving home after a concert in Santa Cruz. Cruising down a long, dark, empty road, windows cracked, chattering, and not a single car in sight. Then, out of nowhere, they saw something that made them wish they packed their grandma's rosary, and maybe a priest in the back seat. Luckily, their dashcam caught the whole thing. Take a look. Did you catch that? A dark figure suddenly appears in the middle of the road, and they thought they nearly run over a person. But when the husband looks at his rear mirror, no one is there. And if they had hit someone, you'd expect something. A jolt, a swerve, damage, anything. Another eerie detail was how the figure somehow didn't appear in the rear cam, like it only existed from the front. That's when the chill hit them, the kind that starts at your spine and leaks into your bones. The husband later said it was the scariest thing he's ever experienced. And honestly, we have to believe him. Many roadside ghost stories involve ghostly hitchhikers, spirits reenacting the moment of their death. Could this have been a residual haunting? A soul stuck on loop, replaying their final moments? And why didn't he show up in the rear cam? Or was it a reflection on the windshield? If so, where would the person be standing to even appear right in front of their car? What are your thoughts? Was it a spirit, a glitch, or something else entirely? Let us know what you think in the comments. When this downright petrifying clip was caught in the Ritz Theater in Tule, Utah, the paranormal team at Broken Wings Paranormal had already done a good sweep through the building, conducting some last-ditch attempts to catch anything spooky. The team were ready to pack up and get out, which is when they all noticed the hairs on the backs of their necks begin to stand on end, and they realized that they were not alone. But that feeling had been sitting in the back of their minds from the second they set foot inside the theatre, because it comes with somewhat of a legacy. The Ritz Theatre you see in the video actually isn't the original building. It replaced the previous Ritz Theatre in early 1938 and served the people of Thule well. But in 2023, the same year this scary investigation was filmed, the sales had gone down and the Bradshaw family had no choice but to sell the property on. Being such a historical place, a lot of tabloids went to interview the family when the news dropped that they were considering giving it up. This is where you start to see the paranormal clawing their way in. Journalist Stephen Dark with Deseret News wrote that while interviewing co-owner Mickey Bradshaw in the theatre lobby, they both heard a deep, vibrant moan coming from the walls. The family ran the business for 70 odd years and have plenty of ghost stories under their belts. There were times one of the Bradshaw's daughters recalls when her and her father would look into the auditoriums at the end of the night and see a couple sat together after everyone had already been ushered out, and on a second glance, they were gone. People outside of the family have noticed something spooky about that place too, with a woman called LaDawn Tracy, who moved into the theatre once to try and stake out some ghosts. Everyone seemed to be in unanimous agreement that these spirits were just people who had frequented the place before, be it for work or pleasure, and just didn't want to leave. Tracy mentions that there are the spirits of two ushers, and that information is what makes the footage these guys caught so spooky. Check it out.
Just as we begin our portal session, you can clearly see we are all in the room. LaDawn is sitting in the back of the theater. Watch the doorway on the right side in the back of the theater. You will see an apparition walk towards the bathrooms, and then just a few seconds later you see the same apparition walk back. This cannot be a person, because as you can see in this still, a person has full features even in the back of the theater. Amazingly enough, this was captured on both of the DVR cameras.
You can see that everyone conducting the investigation was at the front of the room when this clip was taken. So who or what the hell was walking past the doorway? LaDawn Tracy was actually present at the time of the investigation and seemed to drag a bunch of spirits in with her.
Just a couple minutes later, watch the same doorway. You can clearly see shadows moving in and out of the theater. Right after, the portal says, "I'm coming up."
I'm coming up something.
I heard a slight yes. Like a real soft yes. How about Suzanne?
And then just a few seconds later, the music box is triggered in the projector room.
How about Suzanne?
No.
And who's sitting behind me?
From the auditoriums to the back rooms. You could try and say that the ghost stories and footage were all a marketing ploy to get more traction for the theatre. The timelines would mean that made sense. But why continue spreading this information if it's a lie, when the theatre has already been sold on to someone else? Food for thought.
Imagine moving into a new home only to find crucifixes, open Bibles, and bloodstains on the dining room floor. Well, that was the eerie welcome a family received in their new house, previously owned by a doctor and his much younger wife. Despite the house's seemingly peaceful exterior, something fell off. The family's chilling experiences, documented on the Lockridge Haunting TikTok page, left them searching for answers. Take a look for yourself.
Hey, just want to hop on here and explain some things about the ghost and my dog. So my dog is crate trained from his previous owner. That's a safe spot. That's where he goes when it's chaos in the house with all the children, or we have company that he doesn't like. He just goes in there and chills. So that's why he sleeps in his crate. It's his safe spot. Anyway, so what you didn't see in this video is after these slight movements of the door handle, he gets up, he's wagging his tail, he is ready to go. He only starts whimpering when it doesn't open for him. So I come out, make him go potty, and you would not know anything was wrong with him. He is ready to go back in that crate. He fell asleep. I checked the camera. That night, there have been a few other things happening in the house. If you look at my older videos, and he is super chill in like the door video. And as far as the kitchen video, we have had so many things get pushed off of that countertop, and he gobbles it up. He gobbles it up. He is there waiting for it to fall. And so I think him and the ghost are like BFFs for life, or afterlife. Just had to put that dad joke in there. Sorry. Anyway, he's fine.
That dog knew someone was there with him. But who? Or what? After this, they moved him up to the bedroom with them instead of leaving him in the kitchen near the dining room. Which was a good call, because look what happened a few days later. This clip is pretty short, and we have no real way of knowing if anybody was on the floor moving the door off camera. But look what also happened in the same spot when the wife was just trying to have some leftovers.
I had a bunch of comments repeated on my original video, and so I wanted to address some of those. If you haven't watched the original video, go back to my page and find this thing. Because I'm about to go to Crazy Town and you're not going to understand what's going on. So that's a cold container of food that had been out for a couple hours. We're not disgusting. I don't want to get food poisoning and join my ghost. I had just been getting little bits for my dog Snoopy, Snoopadoops or Snoop-a-lot, because that little man deserves it. So it had been cold. I had been flopping the lid back on. It had been staying shut. I had not been inserting the tabs. It was just staying shut until this video. The second time I close it in this video, I make sure to insert the tabs. I thought I had done it the first time. So insert the tabs because I didn't want any more sketchy stuff coming from this container. What made me leave was hearing the container being pried open. I ran to get my husband, who does not believe in ghosts, so he could come and explain it away to me. It did not. He closed it, he thumped it, he roughed it up. It never opened again. We stared at it like a bunch of idiots for like 20 minutes. Also, people commented on how I moved my paper towels. That is a hot stove. I didn't want to go up in flames. I was not in the mood to stop, drop, and roll that evening. Just trying to prevent a fire. Also, if I'm going to make a fake video, I am not going to look a hell of a mess. This is not an outfit or hairdo that needs to see the light of day. And last but not least, I think you just wanted some carbs. I'm ketoing, so I feel ya. You want the carbs when you can't have the carbs. So maybe this ghost is my spirit animal. I'm not sure, but we're going to continue to review security cam footage and hopefully find some more stuff. We've reviewed a lot of it and haven't found anything. Just my cat training for the Olympics. So if you made it this far, thanks for listening.
According to her, she wasn't even fastening the tab for a little while, and still, the box wasn't coming open. But when the activity started, she began double-checking that it was fastened properly. That didn't stop whatever it was from ripping it open, though. But surely it could just be the laws of physics, right? Well, perhaps the history of that house might say something else.
Okay, everyone's asking about the history of the home. And I'll tell you the little smidge I know about it. And the people that used to live here. And I'm going to tell you as an orange, because you need a little vitamin C and laughter. And I look like crap behind this puckered facade. House is 35 to 45 years old. Doesn't seem like that old, but I'm 35 and I had to sit on the side of the bed like an old Buick and warm up in the mornings. So it's this old. I mean, anyway. Owned by a prominent doctor and his much younger wife. I mean, can you call yourself a doctor unless you have a younger wife? I think the kids are still alive. The grandkids are still alive. They're not on the internet. Google searches, nothing. We viewed the home. The odd thing is we viewed the home a few times. Of course, you got the normal old people smell in there, but crucifixes over every single door. Crucifixes everywhere. Open Bibles in a bunch of rooms on these fancy stands. A picture of the Pope in their bedroom. Talk about a mood killer. So super religious. I think they may have been Catholic. So I don't know if the crucifix is above every door is a Catholic thing. I don't know. To each its own. To each his own. I'm not talking bad about Catholics. I just don't know you Catholics or how you do things. The bloodstains in the dining room. I really think those are blood stains because the wall above the blood splatter was crushed in. It had, like someone had hit it. Googled blood stains on hardwood floors. Don't suggest that. They do get dark, and there are really dark spots and then really light spots. And the more I scrub it, the lighter it gets and the redder it gets. Looked at the crime map, nothing. It's like freaking Stepford Wives. Really nice neighborhood. That's why we moved here. Sidewalks, a lake. Everyone's walking their golden doodle labrapoodle. It's really nice. So I don't know if something happened here a long, long time ago before all these crime reporting and stuff, or that time, the olden times when you just hung people in your backyard when they pissed you off. But if I do find something out, guys, I'll let you know. Anyway, have a good weekend.
But this activity in the kitchen and dining room didn't take its time to begin. Check out their first video from when they initially just moved in. Creepy because sliding doors are annoying to open with your hands, let alone faking it for a video with somebody else. But the shortness of the clip and the dog's lack of genuine reaction, and the fact that they somehow already had a security camera set up, does seem a little bit sus, doesn't it? We'll leave this one up to you to decide.
A woman is on a solo house viewing on a Tuesday afternoon when she filmed something in one of the empty rooms that left viewers absolutely freaking out. She and her husband had been house hunting for a while, but on that day, she was checking out this property on her own because he couldn't make it. While she wasn't completely alone, the only other person in the building was the estate agent who was right behind her. To show her husband what he was missing, she started taking videos of the empty rooms as she walked through the house. What she didn't know is that the house has a tragic history. The previous owner, a man broken by grief, decided to take his last breath within those very walls. Locals say his spirit never moved on. Well, that day, she thought she was filming an empty room, but she wasn't alone. Take a look.
So that bathroom. Yeah. And that goes.
As she enters the room, a head can be seen through the gap above the fridge for just a second. After getting a bit confused, thinking she's seeing things that are not there, her next reaction is to investigate. She walks past the fridge to check the area by the door where the head appeared, and finds nothing. Now, here's where this goes from strange to impossible. The entity came from the direction of the door, but the door is locked, and there was no sound of it closing.
And that goes.
We can't see them come out from behind the fridge either, and it seems very unlikely that a person would have enough time to go back through the door and close it by the time she gets there to film the area. It's not an intruder, and it wasn't the estate agent from upstairs, which brings us back to the tragic story of the previous owner. So what did she capture? A trick of the light? Or was that the spirit of the grieving homeowner, still peeking through the rooms of the house he could never bring himself to leave? Let us know what you think was hiding behind that fridge.
And that goes...
Imagine packing your luggage, ready to explore the most beautiful places in the world, and probably checking some things off your bucket list by visiting all your dream locations, only to decide to see the most secluded areas alone at stupid o'clock. Well, that's the deal of the lady you're about to watch. This is one of those days when she explored Japan after midnight, all by herself.
Y la leí completa y al final decía eso, así de que se te va a aparecer. Personalmente jamás se me apareció, amigos, entonces tampoco creo como mucho en eso. Amigos, estaba en este callejón y vi como alguien asomarse de la ventana y me sacó un pedote. O sea, pudo haber sido una persona real, obvio, pero no sé, qué casualidad que justo cuando estoy hablando de esto aparece ahí alguien. No lo sé, amigos, ya estoy viendo cosas. Pero bueno, el punto es que pues esta es la historia de este espíritu, que por cierto aquí se les llaman yokai, específicamente a los que te quieren hacer daño, digamos, a los espíritus malignos.
After spending a couple of weeks in Japan, this YouTuber, not Zara, thought it was wise to talk about the various Japanese urban legends, questioning if they held water as she walked through the streets, alone. It starts off pretty well, until she gets this feeling that someone is watching her from a window. From there, her senses heightened, and things got pretty intense, fast.
Esta creo que no. O sea, hay unas que me suena que podría ser, pero esta se me hace como muy así de que... No lo sé, Rick, parece falso. Pero bueno, ay, hace mucho frío, amigos. Bueno, es que no es la 1 de la mañana, ¿no? También yo. También hay un... Güey, como... Acá, ¿vieron eso? Güey, hay como una sombra atrás de mí, pero como que siento que se está acercando más rápido a mí. No.
Midway through her video, she notices this figure walking briskly towards her before mysteriously going poof. Coincidentally, she was just talking about a ghost believed to lurk the streets at night called Rokaru Kabai. So, we can understand her paranoia. And when she thought her night couldn't get spookier, this happens.
Como que la vas a poder ver así como rápido, por el rabillo del ojo, por como de reflejo, en reflejos de espejos, superficies. Vaya. Oye, escuché como pasos. A ver, yo no estoy en una bañera, compadre. Yo no. Ok. Oye, no hay nadie, o sea, de que literal no. O sea, no hay nadie. Anyways, como les decía.
She hears approaching footsteps, and she turns to see who or what it is. She sees nothing. But did you notice how her hair got blown by the wind as she turned? At that moment, she was sharing the ritual rites of summoning a ghost who was believed to stalk whoever summoned it, although she claimed to have omitted some parts of the ritual, because she had inadvertently invoked this spirit on herself. Well, this is where it gets bizarre.
Repetirlo, tienes que volver a meterte a la bañera a la misma hora, hacer los mismos pasos, decir otra vez su nombre 3 veces y entonces así el fantasma va a entender qué es eso. parada bien raro y está viendo hacia acá. Güey. O sea, no se mueve. No se mueve. Güey, ¿por qué no se mueve?
She encounters something or someone dressed in an all-black bodysuit, trying to light a cigarette. However, this figure has an eerie feeling, as it doesn't move or flinch on a cold night. And when she zoomed in on the image, this person or thing seemed to have an elongated face. Did she get more than what she bargained for on this trip by meddling with the superstitions, supernatural entities of a foreign land? Or was she just being paranoid and her mind playing tricks on her? You be the judge. Dragon Manor, a name that gives anyone who knows its twisted history the heebie-jeebies. This abandoned estate has sparked countless rumours with stories of eerie happenings and ghostly figures creeping through the years. Tonight, a group of investigators decided to go back in, armed with cameras and flashlights, hoping to catch whatever haunts these halls. Little did they know they were about to stumble into something that would chill them to the bone. Take a look.
这什么图？这是？清明上河。我操！谁？啊！哎呦我操！哎！啊！我操你妈！回来！ 你搁门口待着，我看看，我看看咋回事。
Deeper into the manor, the tension cranks up a notch. The team come across what looks like a regular bookcase, but then things get weird. The books start to move, slowly lifting on their own, like some invisible hand is guiding them. It's subtle, but undeniably eerie. What kind of power is messing with these objects? Just when you think things couldn't get any weirder, a mop starts moving on its own, sweeping the floor like it's got a mind of its own. Moments later, a broom joins in, doing the same creepy dance. It's like the house is alive, taking care of chores no one's touched in ages. The team, and let's be real, all of us watching, are left wondering if Dragon Manor has a life of its own, making us question what the heck we're actually seeing.
谁？哎呦我操！哎，谁？出来！谁？出来！谁？我 现在真的，我瞬间感觉这心土土的呢。哎，老魏！我操你妈
Finally, the team makes it to the dining area, and this is where things take a seriously unsettling turn. Bowls and chopsticks start sliding across the table, arranging themselves like they're being set by some invisible host. This deliberate action is perhaps the most disturbing moment of the night, suggesting that whatever is haunting this place is not random, it's intentional, and it has a message. But what do you think? Could they just be pulling the wool over our eyes? Or did they stumble across something that should have been left alone? Let us know your thoughts. There are tons of ghost videos out there, but this one, easily one of the creepiest. On a fateful day, the YouTube channel Fourth Wall, known for diving headfirst into all things paranormal, got an email from a young woman named Kyoko. Kyoko was a young widow, and she lost her husband in the house they lived in for over a decade. But after his passing, things started to get seriously creepy. So unsettling, in fact, that she moved out for over a year. It was like some ancient curse had taken over. Despite the weird vibes though, Kyoko couldn't let go. This was the place where she shared so many memories with the love of her life. So she reached out to Fourth Wall, hoping they could bring some psychics and dig into the secret that seemed to be lurking there. This case piqued Fourth Wall's interest, and they didn't waste any time. Their rep, Miguru, showed up 5 days later to check things out, and what he caught on camera, downright chilling. Take a look.
箱が出てきたのが原因というのはどういうことなんでしょうか？
これが押し入れです。これが京子さんが言ってた箱だと思います。
What you just saw, definitely not normal. Meguru was investigating a box Kyoko had mentioned, a box she never opened, believing it held some kind of secret. As he was checking it out, Meguru got this intense feeling like he wasn't alone in the room. That's why he moved so fast, trying to figure out who or what might be lurking in that abandoned house with him. But let's take a closer look. With the way that thing vanished, it's pretty obvious. Whatever it is, it does not want to be found. Before Meguru left though, he wasn't done yet. He set up night vision cameras in multiple rooms around the house, and that's when he caught this. After witnessing this weird stuff, it's hard to shake the idea this house is definitely haunted. Fourth Wall eventually learned that before Kyoko bought the property, it was owned by a real estate agent named Mr. K. Interestingly, Mr. K had also lived there, and just like Kyoko's husband, Mr. K's partner passed away in that very house. They performed an exorcism on the property and opened the mysterious box. It contained a ring that once belonged to Mr. K's late ex-fiancée, but that just raises more questions. What's haunting this house? Could it be the spirit of Kyoko's husband? Or maybe Mr. K's late fiancée? So this entity doesn't take kindly to people taking a moment to themselves. Noted. Absolutely cleared those chairs in one fell swoop. Can you blame him as well? There doesn't seem to be any signs of strings at all here. It does look like the woman in pink pushed the sewing table when she got up, but it had already started to move when she was barely resting on it.